This is Alex Padilla, the Democrat senior U.S. Senator from California. During a press conference being held by Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, Senator Padilla was forcibly removed. Here's how MSNBC's Nicole Wallace broke the news.
A sitting senator, California Democratic Senator Alex Padilla, was treated in a manner you don't see every day in the United States of America or in any democracy for that matter. Today, he was forcibly removed from a press conference that was being held by Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
I am shocked, I say. He's a sitting senator. How could Kristi Noem do such a thing? She really must hate Democrats, right? Right? I guess we better take a look at what happened.
The Department of Homeland Security and the officers and the agencies and the departments and the military people that are working on this operation will continue to sustain and increase our operations in this city. We are not going away. We are staying here to liberate this city from the socialist and the burdensome leadership that this governor and that this mayor have placed on this country and what they have tried to insert into this city. So I want to say thank you to every single person that has been able to do this. Also, I want to talk...
Senator Alex Padilla, I have questions for the secretary, because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your
I also want to
hands off.
Many of our high agents have been docked.
On the ground. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
If you let my hands go and stand behind my back.
All right. Cool. One hand. Lay flat. Lay flat.
Other hand, sir. Other hand.
The sitting senator was then handcuffed and his body was placed on the ground.
Yes, because while he was forcing his way to the front of the room, he was shouting like a f***ing lunatic. Were FBI agents supposed to immediately let him go just because he said he was a senator? Oh, my mistake. Please continue, Senator. And here's a question. Why didn't the person shooting video of Padilla in the hallway say something like, hey, that's really Senator Padilla? But that would have ruined his big social media moment, so never mind. Also, it's very possible that Senator Padilla wasn't widely recognized. I mean, I've been showing you a photo of Senator Ben Ray Lujan from New Mexico, and I bet most of you didn't even notice. This is Senator Padilla, by the way. Or is it?
I came to the press conference to hear what she had to say, to see if I could learn any new additional information. And at one point, I had a question. I was there peacefully. At one point, I had a question. And so I began to ask a question. I was calmly and peacefully listening in that press conference and attempting to ask a question.
Fact check false. He wasn't calmly listening. He interrupted her by yelling at the top of his lungs, demanding attention, all while lunging towards her.
Exaggerating and embellishing. Sir, hands up. I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary, because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your...
Oh, I see. It was one of those mostly peaceful meltdowns. Got it. Look, this jerk is supposed to be a U.S. Senator. I wanted to ask a question. Well, Secretary Noem hadn't even started to take questions yet. Plus, he was violently moving toward her. I mean, what did he think was going to happen?
If this is how this administration responds to a senator with a question, if this is how the Department of Homeland Security responds to a senator with a question, you can only imagine what they're doing to farm workers, to cooks, to day laborers.
Cry more, Senator. Cry more. Now, you will not be surprised that Democrats immediately came to Padilla's defense because Orange Man bad.
This is not simply an assault on Senator Padilla. This is not an assault on Democratic senators. This is an assault on the rule of law. This is an assault on our democracy.
And I am I am shocked by how far we have descended in the first 140 days of this administration.
Now, if you're not yet convinced that President Trump and his administration are trying to suppress free speech, then just watch the video. Watch the video. This is not a drill. This is an assault on our democracy.
An authoritarian government that wants to make its people heel before them, kneel before them. That's what I physically saw with my own eyes, a member of this body being driven to his knees.
Anyone who looks at it turns anyone who looks at this, it will turn their stomach to look at this video and see what happened. Reeks of totalitarianism. This is not what democracies do.
I have come to this floor often to speak out, to be angry, to be a voice for my people. I have never come this close to having tears in my eyes as I speak to both sides of this aisle about this horrendous incident that occurred.
This has got to change. Peaceful Americans cannot have this kind of abuse rain down on them for the next 3.5 years. It has to end now.
If we answer this moment with silence, we will be damned.
This is just an example of how out of control the Trump administration is at this point. We've seen an unprecedented assault on the economy, on health care, on Social Security, and of course on the rule of law, on the American way of life, on democracy itself.
There are some who are saying they don't recognize this America, and I want to ring the bell today for all who are watching, for all who are listening. We have now crossed the line. This is a dangerous day.
If disrespectful behavior is a justification for violent reprisal from the administration, how many members of this body would be subjected to that?
This is not acceptable. Are we trying to freeze the voice of dissent?
I don't ask law enforcement to throw my constituents to the ground and violently handcuff them because they have a different opinion from me. You know why I don't do that? Because we don't do that in a democracy.
Tell that to Gold Star father Steve Nakui.
America's safer today than when I took office. Year before I took office, murder rates went up 30%. 30% they went up. The biggest increase in history. It was then, through my American Rescue Plan, which every American voted against, I might add.
That's right. Mr. Nakui's son, U.S. Marine Lance Corporal Kareem M. Nakui, was killed during Joe Biden's botched withdrawal of Afghanistan, and they arrested him.
Well, he was being disrespectful. Being disrespectful is legal. Being disrespectful is American. Being disruptive is okay if it's just using your words and not your body.
Was Senator Schatz talking about a Gold Star father being arrested? No, but he's really indignant over the fact that Senator Padilla was handcuffed and immediately released.
I was not arrested. I was not detained.
But the sticking point with the media was that he identified himself and that somehow justified his actions.
You know, as I watch this, I'm struck, and I'm sure many people are struck, whatever their politics may be. You're a sitting senator, you're in the room, and you identify yourself. We hear you identify yourself. I'm Senator Alex Padilla, I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I heard you say it, I think, at least 3 times.
I heard you say it, I think, at least 3 times. He said it once, Aaron, and only after he was violently pushing towards the front of the room for 6 seconds. And if you believe that's bad, here's Jake Tapper on the matter.
She went on Fox News, Secretary Noem, to explain her take of what happened from her point of view.
This man burst into the room, started lunging towards the podium, interrupting me and elevating his voice, and was stopped, did not identify himself, and was removed from the room. I had a conversation with the senator after this. We sat down for 10 to 15 minutes and talked about the fact that nobody knew who he was. He didn't say who he was.
So just a couple points there. She claims nobody knew who he was. He is a sitting United States senator in the state that she was visiting. Senator Padilla has held that seat since January 2021, so more than 4 years.
So every Secret Service agent and FBI agent in Kristi Noem's security detail know what every single U.S. senator looks like. Got it.
That aside, the video of the exact moment that Senator Padilla interrupted her news conference shows he did, in fact, very clearly identify himself. Listen for yourself.
I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary.
She said did not identify himself and was removed from the room, but you could very clearly hear him say there, I'm Senator Alex Padilla.
However, Jake Tapper is taking Kristi Noem out of context. Here's the entire clip.
You know, I had a conversation with the senator after this. We sat down for 10 to 15 minutes and talked about the fact that nobody knew who he was. He didn't say who he was that until he was already had been lunging forward and people were trying to detain him for quite a period of time.
Wow, Jake Tapper lying. I know you're shocked. Anyway, that's it for now. Follow me on X at Don't Walk Run. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time. If there is next time.